Hello and welcome back to Men's Day Out. Today we are joining with a father who has experienced a very unfortunate incident of the death of his 4-year-old son last month. We welcome Abhinish Singh. Hi Abhinish.
Hi, Raj. Thank you for giving me this platform to put my concern and the problem I've been going through
Right.
in
First
the
of all,
family.
Abhinish,
Hi.
please accept our condolences because death is a very unfortunate incident, and especially when a father has to experience the death of his own child. I really don't know how you would be feeling at this point in time. But having said that, Abhinish, I just want to discuss with you today a little brief about, how did your marriage happen? How did the separation happen? Why the child was not with you, or why you had no idea where your child was? तो आपकी शादी कब हुई थी अभिनीश? Was this arranged marriage or love marriage?
So, Arnaj, first of all, thank you. Thank you for giving me a platform to put my views and where I can at least keep the information. So this would go to the masses. This would understand what people are going through in the society because of one-sided laws and all. Ultimately, the laws are being misused, and I mean, even in the child custody cases, pretty much child welfare is not being ensured or is being saved. So, I mean, anyway, I have lost my kid, but this would not happen with anyone in this world. This is the painful thing which I am experiencing now. I pray to God, no, none, either father or mother, no one should experience this pain or this phase of life which I am going through now. So now coming back to the point, I met my wife in January 2014 through one of the matrimonial portal. Actually, I am born and brought up in Kolkata, and I got a job offer in Wipro, and I moved to Bangalore in the year 2012. And this lady was also working in the same company. So we through once we exchanged the interest, we started meeting, and after 2 years, we on 31st January 2016 we got married. Unfortunately, after marriage, the marital life was not that great. This lady started creating a lot of problem in my marital life. She didn't wanted my parents and all to have any kind of relation with me. She wanted to separate me from all the members. Even she had problems if I used to talk to my friends as well. So uh, somehow I was, since we were married, somehow I was trying to manage everything because everyone says the entire responsibility comes on shoulders of a husband. He has to ensure the family is good. He has to take care of everything, even if family breaks, that also comes on husband and all. Somehow I was kind of I was handling all these tortures, going through that, keeping in mind that okay, sometime it will improve and all. But unfortunately the things didn't improve. But and I mean, she didn't wanted my parents and all to stay with me, so I had sent them back home in Kolkata. She had no contact with them. So after that, she got pregnant in July 2016, and I became father of my son uh, on 22nd March 2017. In another 20 days, he would have become 4 year old. He has not even completed 4 years of his life, and whatever he has seen, I pray to God none a single child see those days again in life. So in March, on 22nd March 2017, he got birth in the city of Bangalore. We were happy, but still after a few months, things started deteriorating. This again, my wife, she started torturing me through all the possible way, mentally, physically. She used to abuse me very badly. I can't. So I mean, the level of words she used to treat me, I can't even say here. That, I mean, those were the filthy language, and back to the core, abusing in the name of mother, sister. Those kind of abuses she used to hurdle at me. So after this, she even filed. So after this, she even filed 498 and all on me and on my parents and all. Post that, actually after baby's birth, my parents, I had called my parents to Bangalore, and they were staying with me. And actually, I had even bought a flat in Bangalore, that was in joint name, that was in the name, that was in my name and my wife's name. So she didn't want, again, I mean, like earlier days, she wanted my parents to leave. So for that, she filed a 498A case in Bangalore on 16th October 2017. Post that, I moved my parents to a different flat in Bangalore itself. I have kept them in the nearby flat, so at least when she start going back to office, I can actually leave my kid with them to take care of his things. But this lady was not at all ready to for that thing. I don't know why she was so much agitated about everyone in my family, not only my parents, even with siblings and my friends as well. So I don't know why. With everyone, she had the problem. So after that case, I moved my parents to a different place. And still after that, also her torture didn't decrease. Actually, it was increasing still. That why I'm talking to my parents even on phone. So after that, in December 17, I got separated from her. I came back to Kolkata to attend a friend's marriage and all. Post that, she started threatening me a lot. That once you come back to Bangalore, she will beat me with broomsticks and all, broomstick chappals and all these kind of threatenings she was giving me.
Abhinish, when you say you separated, you went back to Kolkata. So was this just like a regular separation, or did you actually even approach court for getting legally divorced?
No. So still, I mean, there is no legally separation or any divorce, but I started staying separately actually because I was not able to bear the pain. Whole day night, she used to threaten me. Even multiple times, she threatened to kill the baby that time as well. That for each and everything, she used to threaten or she used to curse baby. That I will give poison to her. You bring poison, I will give poison to her. To poison to baby. Why you gave birth? I didn't wanted to have baby. Why you gave birth to him? I don't want him. You take with him, stay with your parents only. This kind of threatenings she used to give me in those time as well. And even multiple times she used to, I mean, leave the baby like this only. She don't used to even breastfeed him. 2 3 days continue back to back, and the baby was not even 5 6 months old that time. So I mean, I've been through a lot, very bad phase during those times. So I started staying separately. And again, after that also, during December 17 and January 18, she started reaching out to all my friends, my relatives through Facebook, to my employer and all. She was bad mouthing about me to everyone, that I am a criminal, I have done this, I have done that. When she didn't get able to do any bad after that also to me, on 30th January 2018, she sent me a message that she is going to kill the baby and she is going to suicide as well. And immediately after some time, I mean, it was somewhere around in evening, and after half an hour or so, she sent one message to my friend that she has already killed the baby and she is now going to hang herself. So immediately I approached the local police station. Two of the police guys along with me, they came to my the house where she was staying. After almost half an hour or 45 minutes, she opened the door. She was not opening the door also. We were knocking, ringing bells and all, neighbors and all, everyone tried, but she was not opening the door at all. So after like half an hour or 45 minutes, she opened the door, and then in front of police people only, she started doing dramas and all, started shouting, she started assaulting me, and she was throwing me away along with the baby. So the baby was not even 1 year old that time. He was just like 10 months old that time. So and all, they told me that baby is very young now, and at least for the sake of baby, I should stay back here.
So you are saying that in front of the police, she was being violent with you, she was assaulting you, abusing you. Despite that, the police
Yes, yes,
stay back with her for the sake of the child.
yes, because she was saying that if I don't stay back, she will not keep the child, and I have to take the baby along with me. If I leave now, I have to take the baby also along with me. Otherwise, she will not keep the baby. So the baby was very young, keeping the kids' welfare. They told me to stay with her. They counseled her, they tried to console her, they even told her not to behave like this and all, at least think from the baby's perspective and all. After almost 1 hour or 1.5 hours, they told me to stay, and I at least, I mean, the way she was doing, ultimately for the safety of child, I had to stay back. But again on 8th February, just after 8 days, on 8th February 2018, she again thrown me out from home along with baby in night. Again in night she has thrown me out. So again I approached, I dialed 100 police emergency number. Again two police people came, and again I mean that day again they also tried to convince her, but again she started threatening in front of them only that she will suicide in front of them if I don't leave the house along with baby. So they tried all the way. Neighbor also came, they also spoke, but she was not listening to anyone. One of my friend also messaged her to at least keep the baby with her, but she didn't agree at all. And I had to leave around 10:30 or 11 in the night. I took baby. I just took my laptop, office laptop bag, and I left from that place. And I came to the flat which I had taken for my parents on rent. Next day, I approached Karnataka Child Commission. I filed a complaint with them that this incident has happened, and if I'm ready to keep my baby along with me. If I give back my baby, anything can happen to him. They summoned both of us in their office. Post that we both appeared. In their office after giving all the evidences. They passed an order in which they gave me 3-day custody to me and 4 days custody to her. In their order, they have clearly written that this lady is very abusive. She have used all kind of bad words and all. Even for baby, she used to blackmail me. But only because the kid was very young, he needed mother's love care, and he needed breastfeeding and all that time, because he was just 10, 11 months old then. So they took a written declaration from her that she will not harm baby at all, and she will take proper care of the baby. Then only they allowed 4 days custody to her and 3 days to me. But again, she approached that order in Honorable High Court of Karnataka on 13th or 14th March. Just by one side of story, she got a stay order on that Child Commission order, and that was like somewhere in mid of March 2018. Since then, I have not seen my kid after that. Just one shot. They used to come in my nearby my flat where I was staying with my parents and siblings. So few days they used to bring kids in front of my balcony and all. But I've not touched my kid. I was not able to hug him or anything like that. I used to see him just for a few minutes when they used to pass from my house. And somewhere from mid of 2018, I have not seen my kid at all.
Yeah. So you are saying that you got an order from the CWC, that is the Child Welfare Committee, that 3 days in the week the child will be with you, and 4 days in the week the child will be with the mother, because yes, obviously for biological reasons, because the child was very young. Now you're saying yes, she approached the Karnataka
yes,
High Court, and unilaterally she's got a stay yes, on that order, and the child was in her custody,
yes,
her sole custody, and since then you were not able
yes,
to see the child.
Yes.
So can you elaborate a little
yes,
on this? What did the stay order say? Did the stay order say anything specifically against you, why they had given a stay for the child not being with you?
No. So the first interim order which came immediately after they got the first hearing, we got to know only about this when the order was issued. We are not even informed. Only after this stay order was issued, we got to know about this case. So in that, it was just told that the petitioners are saying that Child Commission does not have the authority to issue this kind of order. So keeping that in mind, they have put that order on hold. Even though, during hearing later on, Child Commission, they have put all the evidences in front of High Court and all. But ultimately in 2019, I don't remember the exact dates now. After 1 year, the same order was quashed also by High Court, saying the same reason that Child Commission does not have that authority to pass such orders. So petitioner can approach family court for other guardianship or the custody thing. But at the same time, she had also filed the DV case, so I had already filed for the visitation in the same case. So already that matter was also going on. So that was also going on at the pending stage. In January 19, I had filed for the visitation in DV when she had got this stay and all. After some time in January 19, I filed, but that also was prolonging. They were filing some other application to delay my application. So in March 2020, even that was also rejected.
Right. So here you have a case where you had multiple, cases going on between the two of you as husband and wife, and the child was in her sole
Right.
custody due to the stay order given by the High Court, saying that the Child Welfare Committee does not have any authority to pass any such order when it comes to custody cases.
Right.
You hadn't seen your child since almost 3 years since this order had come. In
Yeah.
between,
In
in
yes. In
between, what has happened is that as a father, you were not aware that the child was not even with his mother. In fact, she had sent your child to her mother's place in Bihar. When did you learn about this?
So I got to know about this somewhere during late 19 only, during late 2018 only, where she was staying through one of the neighbors. I got to know that she has left along with her mother, along with baby. So she has left the place, and after a few days she came back to Bangalore. That time the baby was not there with her. She came back alone from wherever. I mean, it became clear that she had gone to her mother's hometown and all. And when she returned, the baby was not with her. So immediately when I got to know about this, I filed that application in under DB for visitation, giving the same reason that the baby is not staying with mother. Also, I put that point as well, that at least this court should put a stay that she should not put the custody to some third person as well. She should keep the baby with her, because that is how she has got the order from High Court, right? She has got the order only because she is the mother, not to give the baby to someone else. So immediately when I got to know about this in January 19 itself, I filed the visitation order under DB, because the case was already going on. And if I had filed a new case for GNWC and all, that would have taken 3 months, 4 months just to serve notice and all only. So I thought, since this case is already on, in this I can get a faster result. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. That case also started taking time to delay my application. They were delaying the matter. They were taking dates, not filing objection, and then they filed other application. And in between, again, honorable judge got transferred. New judge came. Again, everything started with fresh thing, and ultimately nothing happened. And
Right. Now we'll come back to January 2021. As a father, you were not aware where your child was, and you got this unfortunate call, not by your wife, not by your wife's mother, but by a supposed uncle of your wife, informing you that your child had been
right.
kidnapped and found murdered. How did you react to that, Abhinish, when you heard this?
So that was the unfortunate day I can never forget in my life. That was 27 January 21. My, I mean, the bad part is that on 24th January he was kidnapped. That was Sunday night. 25th January, 26th January, 2 days passed. In between that, not a single call from any authority, neither police nor any district administration. Nobody bothered to inform me as a father of the kid that my kid is missing, or they have got some complaint that he is missing, whether you are involved, even to check for that purpose, that whether you have taken the kid along with you, whether the kid is safe or not. Nothing, not a single information that whether their kid is missing from this place. Only on 26 January, I think, when they recovered the body from that well where the body was thrown of my baby. So on 27 January morning, through one of our uncle, he informed me that this incident has happened. I didn't believe, because in the past also she used to threaten earlier that I will kill the child, I will kill the child. So I told him, send me some photograph, because see, if such thing will happen, everyone will expect a call from police authorities, right? That they will inform you through some channel. But nothing has happened. So I asked him to send me some news clips, because if something will happen, definitely it will come in news and all. Then he sent me few photos and news clips and all. I could not control myself. I was in Jaipur that time. I thought I'll go to that place. I could not find a direct flight to that place. Immediately I rushed to Bangalore. And after reaching Bangalore, because my parents were here, they were also not in good condition. Next day, I filed a complaint with Bangalore Police Commissioner Office as well, giving all these regions and all, that this has happened, and nobody has from the local police have informed me this thing. how can I trust these people now? And in fact, I had called the superintendent of police and SHO as well the prior day. I mean, the day I got to know when I reached Bangalore from Jaipur in the evening, I called them as well. They didn't bother. I mean, superintendent of police, he didn't even spoke for 30 seconds. He told that had happened 3 days before. Why you are calling me? Call your in-laws, and disconnected the call. First of all, I mean, he's sitting on such a respectable position, and he should not talk that way, right? I mean, he could have been a little polite, or he could have spoken to me a little bit about that, how this has happened. Just he disconnected the call. Same with SHO. When I called him, he told, yeah, I know. And when I inquired why didn't he bother to inform me, he told, your wife had told not to inform you. I don't digest that news. Why? I mean, who is my wife to tell? Even if she will tell, police cannot work on her commands. No, they should inform me. That is their natural duty. That is their natural duty. They should inform me that thing. And he told, okay, I'll call you once I get some time. I am out for some patrolling. I'll call you. Again, nothing happened. Again, next day, I myself called him. Again, he spoke for 1 minute and all, asked some casual questions. And again, he put me on hold for some 3-4 minutes and disconnected my call.
You were saying
so this has happened.
The authorities never contacted you. As you rightly said, even, they could have perhaps called you with an element of doubt that perhaps you are, behind taking your child, or you are involved, but nothing. There was no information given to you as a father.
Nothing.
And even when you called up, you were, asked to speak to your in-laws rather than calling the police about the case.
Right. Only on 31st of January, I got one call for the first time from some guy. He told, I am part of the special investigation team. I am inquiring the detail and all. I just need some answers from your side as well. He asked some questions and all, spoke for some few minutes. Post that, I didn't got any call from him also post that. So after that, on 4th February, I sent out a detailed complaint to all the top officials in Bihar, DGP, Superintendent of Police, ADG Law and Order, SHO, everyone on 4th February again in detailed manner with all the evidences, whatever I had. And I told them, if you need anything from me, do call me. Again, I followed up on 8th February as well. No response from them. So after seeing all this thing, I don't know ultimately where to go, how to approach. So I consulted a counsel here. He suggested me a way. So I then approached Honorable High Court of Patna. We filed a writ petition asking for a CBI inquiry. On 25th February, we filed the application. Yesterday, the matter was heard for the first time. Honorable Judge, he took cognizance of this matter. He admitted the case, and he had ordered to issue notices, and he has asked the state to file objection within 2 weeks. So at least I'm hoping now, at least I've lost. Whatever I've lost. I can't bring him back, but at least I can fight for his justice. Whoever have done this thing should get the capital punishment, because a 4-year kid, he will not have any enemy with anyone. Why anyone will kill him? And in such a brutal manner. So whoever has done this should get punished, should not walk away freely.
I totally understand what you are going through, Abhinesh, and obviously no amount of words, can give you any consolation. But as you rightly said, as a father, you have all the right to know what happened to your son, who did it, and the guilty and the accused person must be, punished at the end of the day. So I think as of now, as in this point in time, while we are conducting the interview, we are glad that at least Patna High Court has issued notice to the local police to come up with their findings, their investigation that they've done in this case. So what we will do is we will keep in touch with you. We will follow up with you on, all possible dates that you are attending, and to understand where this case is heading and what is the outcome of this case. Is there anything, Abhinesh, you would like to tell our viewers before we end this interview? Go ahead, feel free.
My only request to everyone, whoever going through this problem in life, if you are a parent, just don't use kid as a tool for your personal score settlement and all. Kids is everyone's responsibility. If both father and mother have equal love towards the kid, please, 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 I am begging to all the mother or father, whoever have the custody of kid, please don't use them as tool. Let both the parents have love and care of that kid. Both should get, and kids should not suffer in any way. The kid should not feel the parent alienation thing and all. He should become a good citizen. If if he'll be going through this bad thing, the same thing will generate in his mind, and he will have, definitely will have a bad feelings and all for the other parents whom he is not staying with. So please don't use kids as parental for any personal score settlement and all. Let them enjoy the parenthood of both the parents. And my only request to all the honorable judges who are sitting on a position, please expedite the child issue matters. You never know the kid what he is going through, whether he is getting the, we all do with the good intention, but we don't know what's happened. The delay of matter, I mean, if my case would have not been delayed today, he would have been alive. But the delay costed his life. So
Avnish, I'll end the interview on this note, and all I can say is you stay strong, and we all will be with you in whatever way we can to spread this case, so that somewhere somebody can, come to your rescue and help you get some closure to this at the end of the day. Thank you for joining us.
thank you. Thank you.